I'm Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we are checking out these Mammoth Adjustable Front Lower Control Arms for 0 to 4.5 inches of lift, fitting all 2018 and newer JL Wranglers. So you have lifted your Wrangler and you're starting to feel some instability in your handling. You've noticed that your travel is limited or your wheels aren't completely centered in the wheel well, especially if you're working with a higher lift height. Now, if that sounds like you, if that's the reason why you're here, you're in the right spot, because this set of control arms is an affordable solution to better control and increase suspension performance after lifting your Wrangler, allowing you to dial in your suspension angles to help improve your off-road capability and your day-to-day drivability. Now, why are longer control arms or adjustable control arms so important? Well, they help flatten the suspension angles after lifting the center of gravity, essentially pulling the axles closer to the center, which is why it causes those uncomfortable and limiting symptoms that I mentioned. Now, lower control arms are also one of the more important control arms between the two in the front, since they do have the biggest effect or impact on the axle when the Jeep is lifted. So this set, especially with the 0 to 4.5 inch lift range, will offer a huge advantage over the factory arm. Now, this set of control arms will replace your factory arms with ones that are adjustable and longer. So the additional length here is going to reduce that harsh caster angle and calm down or lower that control arm angle and push the axle center again, which is going to allow for a more controlled and stable feel. Now, one of the most notable features about this set specifically is the ability to adjust these while they are mounted up on the vehicle with the help of the collar on the arm here. So these are going to make adjusting your suspension much quicker and more accurate compared to a single adjustable style. Now, this set has a tough tubular steel construction and will offer more rigidity for more abusive off-road situations compared to the factory arm. Now, on top, you can also see that this is going to have a black powder coat finish, which will resist any surface damage or scuffing over time to keep the steel underneath covered and ultimately guarded against any rusting. Now, the bushings here are going to be made of a hard rubber material, which are going to be a little bit tougher than the factory arms, so you can expect a little bit of a longer lifespan out of those. And the collar is made of an aluminum material to avoid rusting for easy adjustments over time. Now, this set is about $200 and will be not only economical, but a well-spent $200 for the increased drive quality that you're gonna get with this set. Now, stacked up against other choices for lower control arms, this one does have the benefit of on-car adjustment, which will offer convenience to this set that not a lot of other choices have. Now, that feature, along with the wide range of adjustment, even including the stock height that's going to allow you to build and grow with this set over time, is notable. This set will also include those characteristics without being overly complicated or being rated for top-level performance. So if you're looking for strictly a pair of front lower control arms and a more entry-level yet functional set of arms, then these are worth the consideration. Now, installing these will take a little bit of mechanical know-how and may be a little bit tricky for the beginner, so I am going to give it a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. But if you are experienced with the right tools and setup, it should only take about 3 hours to install. Now, regardless if you are doing this install yourself or taking these to a shop, you will need an alignment after to ensure that your caster and pinion angles are correct for the best wear and performance. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to one of our installers here to walk you through the install, whether you're tackling this job yourself or you're just interested about the process. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, 8mm Allen wrench, a 21 and 15mm socket, 15/16 wrench, diagonal cutters, a hammer, and also not shown be a lift and pull jack. All right, today we're going to be installing a lower control arm on our Jeep, so let's get started. So the first thing we need to do here is get our bracket off for our brake line and ABS line, and as you can see, we do have a pull jack supporting our axle so that we can take our control arm completely out. First, we'll grab an impact and 15mm socket, take this nut off here. We just pop that off and just set that on the side for right now. So now we're going to come to the front of our control arm here. We're going to grab our impact with a 21mm socket, and then we have a 15/16 wrench on the back or a 24mm, whatever you have. Put that wrench on the back and take this out. Just pop that bolt off. Now we can get the rear bolt out. Now we're gonna come to our rear bolt, same tools, our 15/16 wrench and a 21mm socket. Just take our bolt out and remove our control arm. Now when fully installing your control arms, you do wanna make sure that before you tighten the bolts completely down, you either wanna get a jack or a pull jack and jack up the suspension to put a load on it, or you can put the wheels back on the vehicle and drop it on the ground, and then fully tighten down the control arms so that the bushings are in the correct place and you don't damage them. Now we're gonna get ready to install our new control arm. Now I already adjusted this off camera. It's very simple. You just loosen up these two Allen bolts with an 8mm Allen wrench and you'll be able to spin this up here. Now I took our stock one and just measured it out and went hole to hole just to kind of make it even. Since our Jeep has 0 lift on it, it should be about the same. So you can keep this loose and we can come back and tighten it if we need to do any minor adjustment. Also note the bend. The bend will go towards the inside of the vehicle. So now we can get our back bolt in. Going to be using the same factory hardware. We'll just get our nut loosely installed on the back there, and then we can get our front bolt in and then tighten everything down. So we'll swing our control arm up and get our front bolt in. If you need to, just grab a mallet. You can tap up on the control arm if the holes don't line up exactly, and tap your bolt through. Put our nut on the back side. Go ahead, grab our impact 21mm socket and 15/16 wrench. Tighten that down. Now on the inside here, we're just gonna tighten down our Allen bolts for our adjuster. So grab an 8mm Allen wrench, tighten those two down. Now I do have a ball Allen just to make it a little bit easier. And then we need to secure our brake line bracket. So since we don't have a mounting point here, we're just gonna grab a couple zip ties and secure it to here. Now if you want, you could make this a little bit better because this definitely will rub and vibrate a little bit, but you can mount this however you want. Take a pair of diagonal cutters and cut off the extra. Now we're gonna come to our back bolt, tighten down using the same thing, 15/16 wrench and 21mm socket. Now that you have this side all secured, you can go ahead and repeat all those same steps for the other side. And that wraps up our install of our Mammoth Adjustable Front Lower Control Arms for a 0 to 4.5 inch lift for our 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL. And remember, for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.